Hunter, we have finished the symbiote sampling device. Come to the forge to have a look.
Peter, what's wrong?
Practice makes perfect. We've got plenty of tricks for old dogs.
I guess I could show you a couple of things. Good stuff. Better than any damage marks.
No! How can this be? You have vanquished me once again.
This is the life. Kicking it with the legendary Hunter. And kicking said legendary Hunter's ass at a fighting game.
I also enjoy, how do you say, kicking it with you, Carol.
Yeah, there's hope for you yet. I'm just not sure there's hope for you in this game.
Care to find out?
You realize that you'll need to win the next 3 matches to beat me.
Just press that forsaken restart button already.
Okay, but I'm not going easy on you, Hunter. You're way too good for that.
I am good now, huh?
Yeah, just not at this game.
You wanted to speak?
I see you, Hunter. I notice what you've been up to.
And what have I been up to exactly?
Bad things. Very bad things. The worst. You should see the look on your face. I meant that in a good way. You're embracing the darkness more and more every day, owning it, but not letting it own you. And more importantly, you're proving to be quite a good friend.
I am touched and honored to be considered a friend to you, Ileana.
Just don't let it go to your head. For years in this realm, I felt out of place. I was a sorceress who used the darkness within her for the cause of light and life. No one understood me, and most people were terrified. Then I met the Midnight Suns, and they showed me how to make a home in this world. It never felt right for a bad girl like me to fight with the good guys. Until you showed me how.
You have shown me a lot too, Ileana.
Perhaps, but I haven't told you everything. My time growing up in Limbo was difficult. The creature who brought me there, his name is Mephisto.
The Prince of Lies? The Great Corruptor? Master of the Realm of Lost Souls? That Mephisto?
The very same. He sought to blacken my soul with corruption, forced me to hurt, to curse, to kill. I hate what he did, what he made me do. But without it, I am not the person you know, and I would never have met you. Am I a monster for being grateful it happened as it did?
Ileana, I cannot answer that for you. But I am here for you, no matter what you conclude.
I see. Thank you for listening to me, friend.
Stark and Strange are deciding what to do about Eddie.
Hey, boss. I got something for you. Hey, can I ask a favor? Thanks, Hunter. Oh, you are gonna love this. Here you are, Hunter. One symbiote sampler, hot off the old demonic presses.
That is not what I expected.
Yes, I for one am not going anywhere near that thing.
You're a doctor. Don't tell me you're afraid of a little needle.
That is most certainly not a needle.
Well, you say tomato, I say one gamma-infused arc-powered laser tomato. Either way, we're good to go. Now we just have to get close enough to Venom to use it.
And I suppose you have a plan for that, too?
Actually, I don't. Been too busy wrangling our friendly Forge demon while ignoring Strange's advice in order to build a one-of-a-kind gamma-powered symbiote extractor that burns hot enough to pierce the sun. But basically, we just need to stick the pointy end in him and let the device do the rest. Once we jab that thing, the symbiote will be extracted and stored within the chamber. The fluid inside should maintain the sample's molecular integrity indefinitely. I based it on the saliva he left on you during that last round.
I see. And does Spider-Man, Peter, think it will actually work?
I'm not sure. To be honest, I've kind of been keeping him out of the loop on this one. Look, Peter's a great kid, with a big heart. He looks at Venom and he doesn't see the same mucus monster we do. All he sees is Eddie Brock. From what he's told me, the two of them weren't exactly best friends before the symbiote got thrown into the mix. But that doesn't matter to Peter. It's not going to be easy to get that sample. We'll have to get real close. I know Peter would give anything, including his own life, to save Eddie. Guess I just don't want to see him distracted when the time comes. Look what happened to me with Bruce.
But you know I will not be distracted.
Well, they don't call you the healer, do they, Hunter? You'll get the job done. And if we can keep Peter from becoming old Slimeball's next afternoon snack, even better. Just need to get you ramped up on this thing. We'll start with something called the on switch.
Tony.
Just kidding, you're a natural at this stuff. Your Superlink profile's already trending. Natural. Yes, that is perfect. All natural. Hey, what do you say to your own organic Stark Drive drink line?
That is not what I meant.
Yeah, I know. Doesn't mean I'm wrong on any of this. End of the day, we gotta find Venom first before any of this matters. Given his symbiote is happily sliming its way across the 5 boroughs, it's gonna be hard getting any kind of reading on him with conventional means, as in the non-demonically possessed kind. Thankfully, there's always Auntie Caretaker and her magic mirror. I'd check in with her. Talk to you soon, Hunter. Give me a sec. Okay, what's up? How's that for quality workmanship?
Hunter? I see Tony showed you his new toy.
He did.
He is so in love with his toys. I don't suppose he's given much thought as to who should get close enough to Venom to use it.
Whoever does it will be putting their life at risk for me. That is a big commitment. I am not sure who would volunteer for it.
You don't seem to have been paying attention. The Abbey is filled with people willing to put their lives on the line for a colleague. It's not about finding someone to do it. It's about deciding who is best to handle it. This won't be figured out right now, but we should decide something soon. Time is of the essence. But I suppose you know that better than anyone. We will talk again soon.
Let's do this. See you around.
How are you, Peter?
You tell me, Hunter. I'm out of the loop on everything. They're off discussing what to do about Venom, and no one has said a word to me about it.
Maybe they are trying to protect you, Peter. They see your youth and feel the need to shield you a bit.
I've saved the city I don't know how many times. What do I have to do to prove myself? Grow a goatee like Strange?
I do not think that is necessary.
Good, because it would be way too itchy under the mask.
I know it can be frustrating, but you should not waste time wallowing in it.
I know, I should be doing something, because right now I feel kinda useless. Maybe I'll use the forge to bake a loaf of sourdough. Really get in Stark's way until he notices me.
No one is waiting to hear from you, Peter. If you want your voice heard, then speak up. Demand to be heard.
What, you mean I should grab Stark by his shoulders, get in his face, and shout, "Listen to me!"
Whatever it takes.
Okay, you've made your point. Fine. Maybe I'll speak up.
Excellent.
Just give me a bit. I'm a little rusty. The Sinister Six caused me to miss out on my speech class final.
Good girl, Charlie.
I want to ask Bruce for help, and then I remember that, no, that's not an option anymore.
We've lost people before. Never gets easy.
Most of them don't stick around as a pompous version of themselves. Tony and Strange really need to figure out some sort of magical, unfallen Control-Z button, and fast. Tell me you found something good. Okay, what's Hydra up to now? Now we know what they're up to. This should keep someone busy. I think I can handle that.
We're missing something, Hunter. And the frustrating thing is it's happening right in front of us.
Where?
The Sanctum is filthy with Hydra. Too many of them. It wouldn't take many guards to secure the building. So the question is, what else are they doing in there?
Even without seeing what is going on in there, I know it is bad. Strange's Sanctum is too big of a prize for my mother to let it sit idle.
I could spend too much time speculating about what's happening in there. We need evidence. And to get that, we need that sample from Venom. We have to get past that barrier.
Our list of problems continues to grow longer.
Well, we're not here for the easy stuff.
We've stumbled on a Hydra unit unloading some of their stolen bounty. Unfortunately, their crates are rigged to self-destruct if the required keycard isn't swiped first, and Hydra's agents are carrying the keys. You'll have to move quickly if we're going to recover any of their equipment.
We're heading in.
This should be good.
Okay, that was awesome. one's for you!
I saw a move like that once, centuries ago.
I'm saving my energy for the Fail, Smydra!
Your fate is sealed. Hail that!
You've secured one of the crates. See if you can't get the others.
Try this on for size! Oh, this
I've got movement here. I will never forsake her. I'll be bulletproof. Position concealed.
My spidey senses are tingling.
Serve her with honor. I like it when we're in control of...
They've armed one of the crates. It's going to explode if you don't get that key.
I'm going for it!
They cannot possibly match your strength.
You've secured one of the crates. See if you can't get the others. That was the last crate. Wipe out the remaining Hydra forces, and let's get you home.
Hey, our friend needs a hand. Ready to smack around a few red shirts? Get it done any way we know how. How much is Lilith paying you guys anyway? It can't be enough.
Ready to save the day? Looks like it's up to me. Right, feeling it. Okay, I felt that one.
Let's do it.
Iron Man marked it.
I am impressed. You had your chance to escape. Weak, even for Hydra.
You know, you're pretty good at this.
Targeting systems active.
Here we go.
What's our contingency plan? This should get you going.
Just let me catch my breath.
Welcome assistance. Your time has come.
That's one shipment Hydra won't be receiving.
It's all coming back to me.
Hi, Hunter. Tonight's the night for emo kids. You coming?
Lead the way.
Nico runs these meetings?
Yes, so far.
Then I'll wait for her to begin.
I require a moment to prepare the ritual. Nico can explain.
We shall soon see if this meeting amounts to anything.
What do you mean?
Miss Minoru can explain.
Feels like we're getting closer to figuring out how you died. It's not too much, is it?
The Midnight Suns need to know how it happened. Even if it kills me in the process.
I disagree. Let's keep you shuffling on this mortal coil, okay? Ileana wants to lead the ritual this time. That surprised me.
Why?
Magic taking the lead and Caretaker staying out of her way? The world must be ending. Oh, right. It is.
Are you prepared for Miss Rasputin to apply the metaphorical cheese grater to your soul?
I thought you were above petty rivalries.
Oh, not at all. She's a blunt instrument who believes herself a scalpel. She doesn't check her work. That's how mistakes are made, the kind one regrets. I wouldn't wish that on anyone, especially Miss Rasputin. I'm certain you'll be fine. If all goes wrong, I shall pick up the pieces, as always.
I believe I know Ileana's plans for the ritual.
How?
I overheard her speaking with Strange.
I appreciate you telling me.
Telling you this time, you mean? That's fair. Perhaps I've kept you in the dark more often than I should. Ileana's approach is reckless and could cause you lasting harm. What you do with that knowledge is up to you.
The ritual today will be unlike before.
How so?
We shall make real progress. I refuse to coddle you as the others did. I will push you beyond your limits. For this to work, I must break you.
Do what you need to do.
Do not be complacent. Without preparation, there is a possibility of damage. This is why you collected the ingredients I asked you to bring. Are you ready to begin?
Can you tell me more about what you are planning?
Do you truly care?
I need to know every last detail.
Why?
That way, the ritual is painful for both of us.
You're such a jerk. Now, ready?
You may proceed.
Limbo never forgets. It holds the echo of your death. What is your last memory?
Lilith. A muddy circle in a clearing.
Then I shall bring that echo to you. Now, you become its vessel.
I am ready.
What do you see?
My head. It is her. It is Lilith in the circle.
Do not fight the echo. Allow it to wash through you.
No, she sees me. I advance, prepared to strike. She just watches me.
Whoa! Is that...
It is.
My child. Look what they've done to you.
You have no right to call me child, monster.
So, misguided. I have never sought to harm you.
Your army says otherwise.
A distraction to allow for this moment.
Ileana, stop this! Right now!
Enough deceit. Speak plainly or suffer the consequences.
Ileana!
No, we must proceed.
How plain can I make this, my child? If I am to remake this world, I need you at my side.
No! You had no right to do that.
Stopping your recklessness is my obligation.
Stopping the ritual early could have destroyed the Hunter's mind.
The only threat to Hunter was your sloppy technique.
You are impossible!
You will never attempt this again.
Do not constrain me.
Just gonna stand here and hope they don't involve me.
Yup.
Miss Rasputin was correct. Feels odd on the tongue, like a fish-flavored loofah.
You approve of her approach?
Of course not. But she was right to push. No matter what Sarah thinks, today was a breakthrough.
I am the Queen of Limbo, not an ignorant child.
Well, you have that look on your face. Say what you need to say.
Are you all right? You seem flustered.
Me? I'm fine. I didn't realize what was happening until too late. Lilith's voice, spoken through you, even as an echo, creates a mystical link. She has the means to follow that link back to you.
Trust me, I can handle that.
I don't think I could handle that. Still, with preparation, I can shield you from such an attack.
And without?
She would do to you what she did to Wanda, and I won't let that happen.
Of course her obligation is to interfere. It's what she does best. Sarah had no right to stop the ritual.
It was painful, but nothing I could not handle.
She wants me to open portals and little else. I am not a delivery service. I am the ruler of Limbo. At least you trust me to be more. Maybe next time we shall learn the truth. If there is a next time. It would have worked if she'd let me finish.
How you doing, Hunter?
We never thought uncovering my last moments would be easy.
Yeah, I know. I just wish it wasn't so rough on you. As long as you're okay, I'm okay. The good news? We are definitely closing in. That's more than enough for today. You ready to leave?
That is it for me.
Sounds good. See you next meeting.
I should have stayed up and watched a movie. Something smells pungent.
That would be Grandma Stark's famous linguine and clam sauce, with some Tony adjustments.
Grandma's recipe was not good enough?
Well, I loved her to pieces, but she also loved vodka in her cooking, and I can't touch the stuff. Not anymore. I even made sure the Abbey has a dry bar.
What did I do to deserve this honor?
That's just my way of saying thank you for being one of the only Midnight Suns who hasn't threatened to banish me to the netherworld, empty my jugular, or portal me to the sun. And that was just today.
Perhaps if they knew more of the man underneath the armor, they would come to understand you as I have.
Maybe you're right. The Mark series can be pretty imposing.
I was not talking about your suit.
Oh, that's deep. Just like the garlic-rich flavor of Grandma Stark's famous sauce. Ah, you two would have really hit it off. Like you, she had a heart of gold, but could be quite the demon when crossed. Used to frighten the crap out of Dad. I thought it gave her character. Know who else I'm pretty sure has character?
Who?
You. Bon appetit, Hunter.
Hey, can I ask a favor? Thanks, Hunter.
Good girl, Charlie.
If you can beat Carol in a straight fight, time to take it to the next level.
You know I know magic, right?
Peace. Hunter, got a second to spare? I've hunted with a lot of different folks in my day, but there's one question I ask the special cases.
And I suppose I am one of those special cases.
Indeed you are, but a little more what that means later.
By all means, ask your question.
What do you do after we beat Lilith and stop the prophecy of the Midnight Sun?
I think you were the first person to ask me this.
I figured that might be the case. Caretaker and Agatha sure did focus you into one hell of a weapon.
If I am needed, others are in need.
Noble thought there, Hunter. But you gotta have dreams.
I would argue that dreams are a distraction.
That's exactly the point, Hunter. Special cases are when I get the impression there's nothing beyond the immediate goal.
The immediate goal matters most. Slay evil, enjoy life.
Right on. It's living that makes the fight worth fighting. Reflect on that, Hunter.
Everything by the numbers. Bye.
Oh, you are gonna love this.
Found another artifact, Hunter? Oh, to research.
Give me a sec. Okay, what's up? How's that for quality workmanship? Big Tony's Forge of Mystery. We never close.
Good day, Hunter.
Danger room, eat your heart out.
Thanks, Hunter. I needed this.
Ready to work? I still say we should have built a firing range first.
There's my Hunter. Awesome. Thanks, Hunter.
This should be useful. This will do nicely. Always better to be prepared.
Hey there.
Hail that! Your time has come. I am afraid you might not make it back from this one.
Confirmment.
this more than I do.
I will return the favor when I can. Your fate is sealed.
Good one.
Lilith has sent you here to die. I hope you are prepared. Welcome assistance.
We serve until the end. In my sights.
Really think you can hide from me?
Engaging target!
They finally got me.
Support units on the move.
You're wasting your time, but whatever.
Exactly what I needed. Let's do this. It sounds to me like they just missed their mama. Get ready.
force to be reckoned with.
For victory! You will regret ever facing me.
Ow! Quit it!
Awaiting reinforcements.
I've got your back. I do not feel so good.
It doesn't look like the device will hold up much longer. You've got to stop those agents from destroying it. You've got incoming Hydra. You know what to do.
Watch closely. Doesn't this happen to you like every day?
About time.
That wasn't bad.
They're repositioning.
Watch close.
I'll handle it.
Arm Alpha reinforcing.
Let's get this started. You asked for it. Your mother.
Let me help.
Back into the fray. We can do this together.
Doesn't get much better than that. Getting better. better every day. Come get it.
Fall back and regroup.
Nothing to worry about.
Welcome assistance.
This should be good. It must be weird having no discernible personality of your own.
Position compromised.
I am at my limit.
That thing is taking a beating. If Hydra does too much damage, it won't be any use to us.
Here you go.
No mercy for the servants of Lilith.
Looks like we've acquired some new hardware courtesy of Hydra. Good work.
Ah, Hunter, good to see you.
What's good?
Bet New York was nothing like you remembered. Been meaning to ask, when you woke up and saw a half-vampire in the Abbey, well, was your first thought about killing me?
You had not proven yourself an enemy, so I did not treat you as such.
As long as you think fast, there's a fine line between choosing your target and hesitating. If I become a threat to the rest of you, or to the people out in the world, what I'm asking is, if I lost control, would you stop me? Could you do what needs doing?
If you are ever a threat to yourself and others, I will treat you like any other vampire.
Good. I don't know how Lilith does her thing, but I refuse to become one of her fallen. If there's ever a question, I want you to know my answer.
I understand.
All right then. Didn't expect to have that much fun.
Good girl, Charlie. Whoa.
When many of the Elder Gods were corrupted and became what we would call demons, the god Atum himself set upon our world to slay these monsters. In that sense, the two of you have had a shared purpose. Fight well, Hunter, and he may just honor you with his blessing.
I'm impressed. Now that was something. Maybe you do not realize the trouble you are in, friend.
Atum was unleashed and made quick work of the demons, but in the process, he began to... He even became known as the Demogorg, the God Eater.
If this is a cautionary tale, your timing could use some work. I saw a move like that once, centuries ago. You were too weak for this fight.
Just imagine how much more difficult this would be if Charlie wasn't there to join you. I think you owe her a treat after this.
The advantage is mine. Let us see if they have an answer for this. Consider it done. Blade told me to mention your mother. Apparently, she's promiscuous. They cannot possibly match your strength. Leave some for the rest of us. Lilith must really want me out of the picture.
I think Blade is honestly jealous that you're getting this extra training in. And with live targets, too.
Leave some for the rest of us. Mother least I can do. Lilith has sent you here to die. I hope you are prepared. Feel my call. Once again, Lilith's servants fall.
If that doesn't make an impression on Autumn, I don't know what will. Good work, Hunter.
This looks like it.
With a tomb's help, you shouldn't have any trouble uncovering the more elusive elements hidden throughout the grounds. Why don't you try out his blessing on that stone over there?
Autumn, show me the way. There must not be anything here. He sees our path. Autumn reveals all. That did not work. Autumn be praised. The son of Gaia approves. Something terrible happened here. This area, it feels wrong somehow. I sense an old suffering.
Members of the local coven were persecuted here. And worse.
Witches?
Salem's history with witches may have been distorted over the years, but some things are true. The witches of Salem did their best to thwart Shaw, but he rallied his congregation against them. The catalyst of the infamous Salem witch trials. When the Coven called out in distress, it was Lilith and Sarah who came to their aid.
They came all the way from Transia with the Abbey to help a group they had never met?
You may not believe it, but I'm sure you would have done the same. Isn't that why the Sons are here today? Aside from that, your mother and Sarah both saw the signs of Chthon's influence. They knew there was more happening in Salem than the persecution of witches.
Chthon's corruption had taken root in the New World just like the colonists themselves.
And while Lilith and Sarah were still preoccupied in Transia, they entrusted one of the moon seals to the Knights of Wondergore, who brought it to the Coven with the hope that its power would reinforce them enough to deal with Shaw.
But that is not what happened.
Unfortunately, no. When the plague came to Salem, the same one that afflicted your father, Shaw used it to further agitate his flock by placing the blame squarely on the Coven.
And the witches?
The mob was vicious. And the rest is history.
But what about the Moon Seal?
After the trials, the Moon Seal vanished along with Shaw. Without drawing any conclusions, I think we can both guess where it went.
If this was his church, then it is possible the seal is still here, or somewhere nearby.
You read my mind. Good hunting, dear.
Autumn be praised. The son of Gaia approves. Fascinating. Noble Oster guides my hand. Agatha's house. Curious. Autumn must not see it that way. Autumn, show me the way. The gods are fickle. This must be Shaw's study. The Goddess of Order approves. Not like anything I have seen on the grounds before.
And yet, it's familiar somehow.
Like the wards of protection that Wanda invoked to protect Dr. Strange's sanctum?
Very perceptive, dear. Maybe you should approach the good doctor and see if he has any insights. And Hunter, be circumspect. Dr. Strange is no fool.
Did Wanda ever make it to this place?
I suspect she did. But if she discovered something, she didn't tell me. Goodbye, for now.
Now that was my kind of ruckus.
I have something for you.
Oh?
Here you are.
Wonderful. We can use it in the ritual.
Ah, Hunter, I was just admiring the collection. Someone spent a great deal of time piecing this library together. I hope you don't mind me, having a look around.
Of course not, Doctor. The library is an asset to us all.
I see I'm not the only one who's taken an interest in these works. You haven't been getting into anything precarious, I hope?
I've found something on the Abbey grounds that I think you should see.
Oh, sounds mysterious. By all means, lead the way. I typically avoid venturing this far from the Abbey, especially at night. There's an unsettling...
This church belonged to a preacher named Hiram Shah. His influence turned Salem against its coven.
A charismatic personality and a fearful populace can do much evil together.
There was more to it than that.
Yes, I suspected as much. It makes Tony nervous, you see. Not in the I'm concerned about your personal well-being, Doctor sense. You were right to bring this to my attention, Hunter.
We thought it resembled one of your wards of protection.
There's a reason for that. It's the same magic Wanda invoked in her attempts to protect the Sanctum. But what is it that you're chasing out here? These wards aren't something to toy with.
I will not know for sure until I get past this. Is there any way to dispel it?
Unfortunately, no. What good would the wards of protection be if they were so easily broken? But I have been wrong before, at least recently. Do you have any suspicions as to who may have conjured this here?
Wanda spent a great deal of time out here, and she had the power.
She does have some experience with these spells, but why would she do that?
The only way I will know for sure is to find a way through to the other side.
I'll think on it and see if I can come up with some way to assist you, Hunter. For now, though, you'll have to be patient.
Autumn does not answer. Ah, I see. He sees our...